Hello friends, today we will going to learn a new chapter in mathematics, that is areas related to circles. Now areas related to circles is a basic chapter of geometry in which the concepts that you have studied in your previous classes will be utilized to understand new concepts which are related to your 10th class syllabus. Some of the basic concepts that you have studied in the previous class are the area of a circle, and second is circumference of a circle. Area of a circle and circumference of a circle. You know that circle is a plane figure, and in this chapter we are going to deal with only plane figures. Okay, our main concern will be areas of plane figures. What are some different plane figures that you have studied? Some basic plane figures are square, then a rectangle, then a triangle, then a trapezium, or I can say one more as a rhombus. You have studied these figures. Then circle, then a parallelogram, and so on. There are many more figures. So we have dealt with these figures, we have determined their areas, we have determined their perimeter. What is the perimeter? Perimeter is basically length of boundary. Okay, for square, for example, this square is of side A, so perimeter of this square is 4A and area is A square. This you know very well. Okay, similarly all about other figures also you have understood. You have solved many questions based on plane figures, their areas, their perimeters. Now what we will going to do is, we will going to utilize all the concepts that you have studied before to make new concepts, okay, which you will going to study now. Okay, so first let us talk about the circumference of a circle. What is circumference of a circle? Circumference means length of boundary. Okay, circumference simply means the length of boundary of the circle. What exactly is the boundary of a circle? If I talk about, let us say this is a circle and this is the center of the circle, and let us say this is the diameter of the circle. Okay, this is the diameter. Let us say D is the diameter and let us say C is the circumference of the circle. So what the mathematicians have determined, what they have observed is that the ratio of circumference to diameter is always a constant. Okay, what they have observed is circumference and diameter, the ratio of circumference and diameter, the division of circumference and diameter is always a constant, which is equals to pi. You know this very well. Okay, so circumference will become pi times d. Now what is d? D is equals to 2 times of radius, where r is this radius. So what I can say is circumference is equals to 2 pi r. This formula you have used n number of times. Circumference is 2 pi r, and it is derived from this observation that circumference to diameter is equal to pi, where pi is what? Pi is an irrational number. Now as I have said, pi is an irrational number, but you have studied that pi is equals to 22/7. This is what you have studied. So please remember, this is just an approximate value. Okay, this is an approximate value. This is not the exact value of pi. The exact value of pi is calculated by Aryabhatta in some BC, in which he calculated the value of pi as 3.14 and so on, something very large. What he has observed is that this value 3.14 and so on, this value is a non-terminating value, as well as a non-recurring value. It means decimal के बाद कोई भी particular pair of number is not getting repeated, okay, but it is also not getting terminated. So you have studied in number system what is the definition of an irrational number. Definition of irrational number says that it is a decimal number which do not terminate as well as do not repeat. Okay, after the decimal point it will not terminate as well as it will not repeat. There will always be a different value after this decimal. You will not have something which is getting repeated. It means, for example, if I talk about 1 by 3 is 0.333. So what we can see, 3 is getting repeated again and again. That's why it's a rational number. But here you will find pi is equals to 3.14 and so on. It will not get repeated. That's why what we have taken is, we can assume pi is equals to 3.14 because of our approximation. Okay, we do not need to calculate the value of pi to 100th decimal or 99th decimal. We just need to have understanding of basic concepts of areas. Okay, that's why we used to take the value of pi as 3.14 only, or else we can take pi is equals to 22 upon 7 as a better approximation. Okay, it's just an approximation, please remember this. This is not the exact value. And one more very important thing, that pi is an irrational number. That's what has Aryabhatta determined in BC. Okay, so this is the concept of circumference of a circle. It is given as C circumference is equals to 2 pi into r, and from this condition it is derived. Now from this circumference, if I talk about area, this is the circle. Okay, this is the circle, this is a plane figure. Now what is meant by the area of the circle? The area of the circle is this part which circle is occupying on a plane surface. Okay, the area of the circle is the part which it occupies on a plane surface, or in other terms I can say area of the circle is the place where I need to paint. Okay, the paint required to cover this circle will give you the area of circle. It's again a definition to realize how area is defined. Okay, so if this is a circle of radius r, I will say area is equals to pi r square. This is the area is equals to pi r square. Now from this, let us determine the relation between circumference and area. What you can see is, from circumference is equals to 2 pi into r. So can I write from circumference, since C is equals to 2 pi r, which implies r is equals to C upon 2 pi. So in place of r here I can write this value, C upon 2 pi. So area is equals to pi into C square upon 4 pi square. So this pi and pi will get cancelled, and you will find C square is equals to 4 pi a. This is a relation between the circumference of the circle and the area of the circle. Now this is a very basic concept that we need to understand. This is just a revision of what you have studied previously. So based on this basic concept, let us first solve 4 to 5 questions, for which you can get warm-up questions. You can say them, they are warm-up questions to recognize, to realize what we have studied previously, to practice them. Okay, so first you note this, then we will solve some basic questions based on this. Okay, let us solve some basic questions based on your previous understandings. First we will solve the first question of practice sheet. It says the radii of two circles are 19 centimeters and 9 centimeters respectively. Find the radius of the circle which has circumference equal to the sum of circumferences of two circles. So what question says is, there are two circles. First circle is of 19 centimeter radii, let us say this is R1 radius, and the second circle is of 9 centimeter radius, let us say this is R2. So these are the two circles, and we need to draw a circle whose circumference is equal to the sum of circumferences of both the circles. Okay, so if I want to draw a circle, what I require? I need to have a center, a point from which I can draw a circle, and the radius of the circle. If I have center and the radius of the circle, I can draw a circle. It means for drawing a circle whose circumference is sum of the circumferences, I need to have the radius of the circle. So let us say the circumference of this circle is C1, circumference of this circle is C2. Let C3 is the circumference of required circle, okay, and let R3 is the radius. Let R3 is the radius. What condition we have? We have C3 is equals to C1 plus C2. What is C3? C3 is, this is the radius of the required circle, so I can write C3 is equals to 2 pi R3. This is what we have learned, is equals to what is C1? C1 is 2 pi R1 plus what is C2? C2 is 2 pi R2. So from this I can write R3 is equals to R1 plus R2. Simply I have cancelled 2 pi from both the sides, and R1 is equal to 19 and R2 is equals to 9. So this will give you 28 centimeters. So the radius of the required circle is of 28 centimeters. Okay. Now I can draw the circle whose radius is equal to 28 centimeter, or I can say whose circumference is the sum of circumferences of both the circles. Okay. So in this way you need to solve the first question. You can see this question is very easy. It's just an application of this formula that you have studied many times. Okay. So let us solve the second question. What second question says is, the radii of two circles are 8 centimeter and 6 centimeter respectively. Find the radius of the circle having area equal to the sum of the areas of two circles. So again, in this question what it says, there are two circles. First circle has the radius of 8 centimeters, let us say this is R1, and second circle has the radius of 6 centimeters, let us say this is R2. Okay, and let us say the area of this circle is A1 and area of this circle is A2. Okay, so A1 and A2. Then we need to deduce find the radius of the circle. So we need to determine the radius of the circle whose area is equal to the sum of these two areas. So let A3 be the required area. Okay, let R3 be the radius. So what I can write is, according to given condition, area of the required circle is equals to sum of areas of two circles. What is A3? A3 is pi R3 square is equals to A1 is pi R1 square plus A2 is pi R2 square. Now from this I will get R3 square is equals to R1 square plus R2 square. Okay. Now what is R1? R1 is 8. So 8 square is 64 plus what is R2? It is 6. So it is 36. This is R3 square. So R3 square is equals to 100, which implies R3 is equals to plus minus 10 centimeters or plus minus 10. Now can the radius be negative? No, radius cannot be negative. So if R3 is equals to plus minus 10, I will accept only R3 is equals to 10 centimeters. Okay. So this is the radius of the required circle. If I draw a circle of 10 centimeter radius, I will find the area of this circle will be equal to the sum of areas of these two circles. Okay. So this is the second question. Again a very easy question. Okay. Now let us solve the third question. In the given figure, it depicts an archery target marked with its 5 scoring regions from the center outwards as gold, red, blue, black and white. The diameter of the region representing the gold score is 21 centimeters and each of the other band is 10.5 centimeters wide. Find the area of each of the 5 scoring regions. Okay. So in question number 3, what it says is there is an archery target like this. Like this. So it has 5 regions. Let us say this is the first region, then this is the second region, then this is the third region, okay, then this is the fourth region, and similarly this is the fifth region. So these are the 5 regions of this archery target. What it says is the diameter of the region representing the gold. Now which region represents the gold? The center one. This region represents the gold. It says the diameter of this region is, this is the diameter, this region diameter is, let us say, D. The diameter of inside region is D is equals to 21 centimeters, okay, D is equals to 21 centimeters. If diameter is 21 centimeters, then what is the radius of this region? Since this region is of gold, what I can say is, let us say RG. R gold represents the radius of gold region. So R gold will be equals to 10.5 centimeters. Okay, the region R gold will be equals to 10.5 centimeters. So what is the area of this region? The area of this region, let us say AG, represents area of gold region. So area of gold region will be equals to pi into RG square. This will be the area. Now you can solve this. You can just substitute the value of RG and determine what will be the area. I am not going to solve this further. It's simple calculation. Okay. Then we need to determine the region of next, the area of next region. Next region is this one. This particular region. The radius of this region. Now what it says is each next region is 10.5 meter wide. So if this region is 10.5 meter wide, it means this length, this particular length is 10.5. If I calculate from the center, then this radius is 10.5 plus this is 10.5. So what I can say is radius of red region, that is R, capital R in the subscript, then radius of red region is equals to 10.5 plus 10.5, that is equals to, this will be equals to 21 centimeters. Now radius of this red region, this complete region is 21 centimeters. So what will be the area of this complete region? The area of this complete region will be equals to AR, which is equals to pi into small r capital R square. Now will this be the area of this region, this smaller region, this blue one, okay, or in figure it will be red one. So the area of this particular region, let us mark it using colored chalks. The area of this region, the area of this region will be equals to area of this complete region minus this smaller region. What is the smaller region? Smaller region is area of gold. So area of red region will be equals to pi r square minus area of gold. Okay. So this will be the area of the red region. Now further, the next region is blue region. What is the blue region? This is the blue region. This is the blue region. Now how to calculate the area of this region? What I can see is, again, the length of this region is, it is 10.5 meter wide. So the length, this length is 10.5 meter, this much length. So calculating from the center, the length will be 10.5 plus 10.5 plus 10.5. Okay, this is 10.5, this is 10.5, this is 10.5. So I can say radius of blue region will be equals to 10.5 plus 10.5 plus 10.5. So let us calculate this. This will be 21 and 10 is 31. So this will be 31.5 centimeters. Now how to calculate the area of this region? Area of this region will be A blue will be equals to pi r blue square minus which area I need to deduct to calculate this region. This is the complete region, and from this region if I deduct this much area, I will get the area of the remaining region. So it will be A r. Okay, it will be A r. If I deduct the area of this red region, okay, if I deduct, sorry, not red region, I need to deduct the area of this complete region, including this D part, this gold part also. So what is the radius of this region? The radius of this region is 21 centimeters. So what I will going to do is pi rb square minus pi r capital R square. Okay, this will be the area of this remaining region. Now after blue region, which region is the next? It will be black region. So the area of the radius of black region is, let us represent it RBLK. This is the black region. The area of black region is this much, only this part. And what is the radius of black region? It will be 10.5 plus 10.5 plus 10.5 plus 10.5. So it will be 10.5 plus 10.5 plus 10.5 and plus 10.5, that is 42 centimeters. Now to calculate the area of black region, the area of black region will be pi r black square. Okay, pi r black square minus internal region, this region. I need to subtract this region. What is the radius of this region? It is 31.5, that is RB. So I will say area of black region is equals to pi r black square minus pi RB square. This will be the area of black region. And similarly, after the black region, I can very easily calculate the area of white region in similar manner. Okay, you just need to solve these values. I am not going to solve, it's a very simple question. This is you have done n number of times. Okay, so in this manner I need to solve this question. This completes question number 3. Okay, first you note this, then we will solve the other 3 questions. Okay, now let us solve question number 4 from the practice sheet. Question number 4 says the wheels of a car are 80 centimeter diameter each. How many revolutions does each wheel make in 10 minutes when the car is traveling at a speed of 66 kilometers per hour? Okay, so it says the diameter of the wheel of a car is 80 centimeters and this wheel is rotating. Okay, that's in that manner only the car will move. So we need to deduce how many revolutions will this wheel make in 10 minutes if the car is moving at a speed of 66 kilometers per hour. So let us understand this question. If I talk about the wheel, the diameter of the wheel is given as 80 centimeters. It means the radius of the wheel is 40 centimeters. Okay, the radius of the wheel is equal to 40 centimeters. Now first understand, if I am talking about the revolution, so how many revolutions does this wheel complete in 10 minutes? This is what its question is asking us. So if I talk about the revolution means if this wheel started from this point, let us say I put a mark at this point. Okay, I put a mark at this point. If car moves in forward direction, this wheel will also move. How will this wheel move? This wheel move in this direction. Okay, in this direction. When the car will move in this direction. So when car move in this direction, this mark will move like this. This mark will move like this, and then this, and like this, and finally will come to again at the same position from where it is started. So I will say, if this mark travel this distance and come back to the same point, it means one revolution is completed. For the second revolution, this mark will again move like this and again will come to the same position. Then I will say the second revolution is completed. Then again this mark will go from this point and then move and will again come to the same position. Then again I will say, yes, one more revolution is completed. Okay, so this is the concept of revolution. Now try to understand how much distance this mark will travel to complete one revolution. I will say, since the mark travel from this point, travel this distance and again come to the same point, what is this distance? What is the length of this distance? I will say this distance is basically the circumference of circle. I will say distance travelled by wheel in one revolution, distance travelled by wheel in one revolution is equal to circumference of circle. Now what is the circumference of circle? It is 2 pi r, that is the radius of the circle. This much distance the wheel will travel to complete one revolution. Now it says that the car is moving at a speed of 66 kilometers per hour. This is the speed of car. If car is moving at a speed of this much kilometers, distance travelled by car in 10 minutes will be equals to, we know that distance is equals to speed into time. What is the speed? Speed is 66 kilometers per hour. 66 into time. Time is 10 minutes, and 10 minutes I can write it as 10 upon 60 hours. So 66 into time. Time is 10 upon 60. When you solve this, you will get 11 kilometers. Okay, so the car will travel 11 kilometers distance in 10 minutes. Now try to understand the concept. I am saying that wheel will travel 2 pi r distance to complete one revolution. Okay, 2 pi r, that is 2 into pi into, now this is 40 centimeters. 40 centimeters is equals to 40 upon 100. Meters is equals to 40 upon 100 into 1000 kilometers. Okay, I have converted this centimeters into kilometers. Why? Because my distance is in kilometers. So what I will say is, one revolution, or I will say that 2 pi r distance is equal to one revolution. So 1 kilometer distance is equals to 1 upon 2 pi r revolutions. Okay, 2 pi r revolutions. So it means 11 kilometer distance is equivalent to 1 upon 2 pi r, where r is in kilometers. R is in kilometers. So 11 kilometer distance, it will be 1 upon 2 pi r into 11. This much revolutions the wheel will make when the car travels for 10 minutes at a speed of 66 kilometers per hour. So what does this mean? Number of revolutions is equals to 1 upon 2 into 22, then 7, and then r. R is what? It is 40 upon 100 into 1000. So it will become 40 and into 100 into 1000 into 11. Why 11? 11 represents this much kilometers. So try to understand this. The wheel need to travel 2 pi r distance to complete one revolution. If it travel for 1 kilometer, it will complete this much revolutions. If it travel for 11 kilometer, it will complete this much revolutions. So number of revolutions we can calculate from this very easily. This will be 11 ones are 11, 11 twos are 22, then this is 0 and this 0 will get cancelled. This is 2 5s are, then this is 2 500, then from this 4 I can write this as 125. So number of revolutions is 7 5s are 35 and into 125. So this many revolutions the wheel will make. How much it is? It is 7 into 625. So 7 6 are 42, 42 100, then 7 2s are 14, 4200 plus 140 will give you 4340, then 7 5s are 35. So 4200 plus 140 is 4340 and plus 35 will give you 4370. So 4375 revolutions the wheel will make when car travels for 11 kilometers. Okay. In this manner I need to solve this question. This question is simple, it's just a concept that you have studied in your 8th class. Okay. So this completes question number 4. Now let us discuss question number 5. Question number 5 says, find the radius of a circle whose perimeter and area are numerically equal. Okay. So question number 5 says, question number 5, it says find the radius of the circle. Let us say let radius of the circle is equal to r. When we need to determine the radius of the circle? When area and circumference are numerically equal. That is, the value of area and value of circumference are equal. Obviously their units cannot be equal because area is in meter square or centimeter square and circumference is a length which is centimeter or meter. Okay. So area is what? Area is equals to pi r square. What is circumference? It is 2 pi r. So according to given condition I can write A is equals to C, that is pi r square minus 2 pi is equals to 2 pi r. This is the condition. From here I can subtract, I can cancel pi, this is r and this r will get cancelled, and finally you will get r is equals to 2 centimeters or 2 units, whatever we have. Okay. The radius of the circle for which area and circumference are numerically equal is equal to 2 units. This is the radius of the circle. Okay. A very simple question. So this is the solution for 5th one. Let us solve question number 6. Question number 6. Now this is an interesting question. Question number 6 says the cost of fencing a circular field at the rate of 24 rupees per meter is 5280. Find the field. The field is to be plugged at a rate of 0.50 per meter square. Find the cost of plugging the field. Okay. So now try to understand this. It says that the cost of fencing a circular field. Fencing means to create a boundary at the end of this circular field. How will I create the boundary? The boundary means I have put some wires at the edge of this circular field. Now, to create this fencing, I require how much money? I need rupees 5280 is equals to total amount of fencing. Okay, I have spent 5280 rupees, okay, 5280 rupees to fence this complete figure. Now, at what rate I have paid for this figure? I have paid rupees 24 per meter. So, for 1 meter of fencing, I require 24 rupees, and in total I have spent 5280 rupees. Now, if I ask you what is the length of this fence, what is the length of this boundary? Let us say this is the radius of the circle. Because it is a circular field, I can assume that radius is r, and we have understood, we have studied previously that the length of this boundary is basically the circumference. Okay, the length of boundary means circumference. Now, what is the circumference of this circle? Circumference is equals to 2 pi r meters. Okay, 2 pi r meters. Now, I have spent 24 rupees per meter and I need to fence 2 pi r meters of the boundary. So, total money required to fence 2 pi r meters of boundary is equals to 24 into 2 pi r. For example, if I want to fence 3 meters of boundary, how much money I will require? 24 rupees for each meter. So, I have 3 meters of boundary, it means 24 into 3. So, if I have 2 pi r meters of boundary, I need to spend 24 into 2 pi r. This much money I have spent. Now, this money is equal to what? This money equals to total money that I have spent, which is 5280. So, by condition I can write, from the condition I can say 24 into 2 pi r is equals to 5280 rupees. So, this much money I have spent. So, from this I can write r is equals to 5280 upon 24 into 1 upon 2 pi. So, into 1 upon 2 into pi is 22 upon 7. So, this is the value of radius. Let us solve it. Now, this is 4 6 are 24, then 4 1s are 4, then 4 3s are 12, 4 2s are 8, and this is 0. Then 2 1s are 2 and 2 6 are 12, then 2 6 are 12, and this is again a 0. Then this is 6. So, this will be 6 1s are 6, 6 1s are 6 and 0. So, r is equals to 1110 into 7 divided by 22. So, this is 2 11s are, or 11 2s are 22 and 11 10s are 110. So, this will give you 5. This is give you 35 meters. Okay. So, the radius of this field is 35 meters. Now, I want to plow this field. How much money I require to plow this field? Now, it says that the amount required to plow the field is 0.50 rupees per meter. So, this much money I have to spend per meter square. Okay, per meter square I need to spend 0.50 rupees. Now, if I talk about the plugging of this field, then what should come into the picture? I will say, in case of plugging of this field, I require the area of this field. Okay, I require the area of this field. Area of this field, area is equals to pi r square, which is pi r is 35 square. This much is the area that I need to plow. Now, amount required, and this is meter square. So, amount required to plug this area will be equals to total amount required is equals to area into the rate at which the plugging of this field will happen. The rate at which the plugging will happen is 0.50 per meter square. So total amount required is pi into 35 square into 0.50. This much is the area, this much is the amount that is required to plug this field. Okay, you can do the calculation, it's very easy calculation. So this is the solution for question number 6. You can see again this is a very basic question. Okay, so note this, then we will continue with the next concept.